Hey guys, I'm here outside. I'm working on this painting we're making for my friend. So she had this hanging up in her house. It's a little fuzzy because I've already sanded it. She has been sober for almost 15 years and doesn't really feel like wine hanging up in her kitchen. So we are going to repaint it for her today. And I want to take you through the whole process of fixing this and then painting it. So I've pulled out sanding block, which I've already used. As you can see, it's a little dusty, just to scuff up the surface here. And I've got a big tub of gesso. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to prime this canvas with a few layers of gesso so that it's ready to accept a new layer of paint so it can have a new life as not alcohol for our friend. So I'm gonna go ahead and paint this, and maybe I'll show you the sanding process, but for now I'm gonna paint off screen, and when this is ready to go, then I'll take you through the design and painting process of the interesting part of the painting. So something I'm thinking about here as I apply this is you can see almost through this a little bit. That's totally fine. I'm gonna be putting several layers of paint on this and sanding in between. So right now I'm just trying to smooth this out, make it a nice even thin layer so that it dries in relatively the same amount of time everywhere. And then I can come in, sand it lightly, and add another coat. Okay, so it stopped raining. Hallelujah. The audio quality on those first few clips are terrible, I'm sorry. But we're dry to the touch. And so now I've got this block, it's like a foam block, if you look, it's squishy. And it's fairly low grit. I don't need, by low grit, I mean like low intensity. So the way sandpaper works is the lower the number, the more abrasive it is. This is probably like a 180 or something. So it's not super scuffy. I'm gonna lightly sand this first coat and then put another coat on. And I'm going to alter the direction. So you see my brush strokes are horizontal. I'm gonna go ahead and flip them for this next coat to vertical. Yeah, let's get to that. Okay, so there's a second coat. You can see the finishing strokes are vertical this time. So we're gonna let this dry. We'll come back, sand it one more time, and put one final layer on it and sand that down, and we should have a nice smooth surface to paint. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the painting process. The first thing I'm gonna do here is add a bunch of red to my white canvas that I used all that time and effort to make white. The gesso comes white. I could have tinted it if I wanted to, but this is more fun. And the reason I'm adding red here is to get a nice base coat down so that when I finish this painting, if there's any parts of it that I didn't cover, it's not white poking through. Let's wait 5 minutes for this to dry. And now that it's dry to the touch, I can draw in some of our designs. Now, I went ahead and designed it off camera. You can see it here. I'm gonna go ahead and put that up in the corner for you. And this is what we're going with. She wanted some big leaves, essentially, was the request. And so we're gonna give her some big leaves. These are Monstera leaves, to be more precise. And you can see me now drawing in my rough design. I've got my little hand-drawn sketch off to the side, and I'm just referencing it while I draw these guys in here. You'll see that I'm using blue paint. The reason I'm using blue is just because it'll stand out nicely against this red. I could have used more red, but I didn't feel like it, essentially. So I'm drawing these leaves in so I can get myself a nice base layer. And once that is done, I'm gonna go ahead and come in here and paint in the background first. I didn't really think very much about what I wanted to do for the background, and so I just kind of started going. Now, knowing my friend Cassie, she is actually a big fan of the color teal and the color purple, and so those are kind of the options that I was considering during this time frame. And I think I end up deciding on teal. So let's go ahead and jump to me applying that. So I'm going to start in here, and right away I'm sure you're like, wait a minute, that's not teal. It's a light blue for now, but you'll see as I come in here, I actually want to take this light blue and transition it into a bit of a yellow. So you can see me starting now with some green. Blue and yellow mixed together are green. And what I'm going to do is let this blue on this side smooth over into a bit of a green and then a yellow on the other side. I just feel like this gradient would look pretty nice, and I think it does turn out really cool in the end. So you'll see me adding that here. I'd like to apologize ahead of time now. This painting process is really sped up, and that's not the issue. The issue is actually this angle that I'm at. It's a little strange, a little skewed, but I feel like it was the best way for you to be able to see what I was working on while I was working on it. The only issue is it's so bright outside that there's a bit of glare. That's not the end of the world. It just is not ideal for YouTube video filming, but it'll be okay because you'll see some final shots where I don't have any glare, so you can kind of see where I'm ending. While I was saying that, you saw I started on the leaves. Now you'll notice I'm not painting this entire leaf green. In my design, you can kind of see there's some red scribbles throughout some of these leaves. And basically, the idea here is I wanted to have some of these leaves be variegated, which is essentially when portions of the leaf end up being a different color than the standard leaf color. So, you know, leaves are usually green. That's caused by chlorophyll, among other things, and that tints them green. Well, a variegated plant is any plant that shows other coloration, especially white, for example. Like we can see here, this is a white or kind of a light green. It's pretty common. It's not any sign of illness or lack of nutrition. It's more so a genetic mutation that the plants get. They can get it through illnesses and other things, but basically a variegated plant is just the same as a normal one, but the colors are a little different. And they often are more expensive that way because people really love the variegations. They're really neat. And so that's what I decided to do here for some of these. I ended up doing, I think, pretty much all of them with some variegation of different levels, but I initially planned for just a few of them to have it. But you can see me going in here. I started with my green, and then I added some of my white, and now I'm coming back in with some darker green to accentuate some of the areas I need in shadow. So I'm gonna move on to my next leaf, and this one actually is behind the first one. So I'm gonna do this whole leaf a lot darker than the one in the front of it so that it pushes it back a little further away. One of the things that people love, especially about monsteras and the leaves that they produce, is you can see there are actually some holes in these leaves. And that is like the primary reason that these things are so popular, along with the fact that they get gigantic. And so for some of these, I put the holes in to begin with, and then I will paint the leaf. And as you can see now, like I'm doing with the first guy that I did, I will come back and I will refill these holes in the leaves with some more color, just so that they look a little more full and a little more exact. And that's going to help me to make sure that the background color is poking through so that they look like they're supposed to. Okay, moving on to the next leaf. Basically, it's going to be the same process for all of them. I'm going to vary my colors a little bit. Maybe some of them, the green will be a little more yellow. Some of them, the green will be a little more blue, a little lighter, a little darker. But essentially, the process is the same. Nothing changes about it. So I'm going to go ahead and speed through the creation of these next couple ones. And I'm going to play some music for you. And if I come across anything that I think is interesting or of note, I will come back in to let you guys know. So you can't see it too terribly well right now because of the sun in the background, but I was doing this top leaf and I had accidentally put in some light blue and light pink into the leaf, and I thought it looked really good. So I'm going to actually go ahead and add these colors to all the ones I've already painted. You can see me doing that on the big leaf that I did first here, and you'll notice that it's not a huge change, but it just makes it a little bit more interesting, which is, at the end of the day, kind of the goal of any painting, is to be interesting. So I thought that the leaves looked a little flat. So you'll see me here now coming in, and I'm putting kind of a dark blue along the bottom sides of some of them to add almost a drop shadow. Now, I don't think this is entirely necessary, but I just thought it looked a little nice. And I didn't want to darken around them specifically and then like fuzz it out, because I like the kind of graphic style that I've got going on here. So I thought that the dark shadow would look pretty nice. And I like that dark blue shadow so much that I'm actually going to add kind of a pink highlight line to the other side where the blue is not, to each of these leaves. And I think, once again, it's just giving me more of that graphic feel that I really enjoy. But basically, that's going to do it for today's video. So let's go ahead and show you kind of a comparison from where we started. Here is our reference drawing, and now let's blend that into our finished picture. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, ring the bell, share with your friends, leave a comment. All the standard YouTube video things makes a huge difference, especially for a channel as small as mine. I think that's basically going to do it. There's a box and a circle somewhere on the screen. Go ahead, click those. It'll show you a video YouTube thinks you'll like, and it'll take you to my channel. Thank you guys again. I really appreciate all of the support and the views and the engagement, and I will see you in the next one.